Hey, I hope you're having an amazing day today. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about my experience living in an apartment with Jackson, who, as you guys know, is an Aussiedoodle, and also talking about our lifestyles together. If you are thinking about getting a dog and are moving into an apartment complex and or already live in an apartment complex, hopefully our experiences, our lifestyles, my personal experience with living with Jackson will hopefully give you guys a little bit of insight and some tips and maybe some perspective into whether or not owning a dog in an apartment is the right fit for you individually. So let's just get straight into the video. Because an apartment complex is generally smaller than a house, and of course a house has a backyard, at least most houses do, I really have to prioritize exercising Jackson and really explore ways to really not only, again, exercise his mind, but also his physical state. I would say 4 to 5 times a day I play fetch with Jackson just in our small apartment, going back and forth with a toy. That is one great way I really exercise him. A second option that I always tend to do is run down the hallways because one, we have that space here in the apartment complex. That's something you might not have in a house, for example, a smaller house, I shall say. But here, I gotta utilize all the space that we have, going up and down the hallway, just running with them, of course, quietly. You don't want to be too loud for our neighbors. And also on top of that, in our basement here at my apartment complex, there's this nice little lounge area. Sometimes I bring Jackson down there with maybe another dog, Charlie, and we just tend to just run around that place. And it's kind of nice because there are no tenants over there, no people living near there. Again, it's in the basement, so we can really be as rowdy as possible. Yay! Once or twice a week, I actually bring Jackson to the dog park, another great way to exercise them and also socialize with other dogs, assuming and making sure that the other dogs are nice and gentle and polite and no aggression is there at the dog park. That is something you want to check. Again, if you're looking at apartments and you want to see if there's a nearby dog park, look at the reviews, go on Google, make sure that the dogs there are nice. Another great pro of an apartment complex is really living with a bunch of people in a central place, and odds are if the apartment complex is dog friendly, pet friendly, there are other dogs in the apartment complex too. And so another great way to use up Jackson's energy, he's looking at me right now, is to have a play date with other dogs. You guys have seen Charlie in previous videos and that's his go-to play date mate, so definitely recommend that and take advantage of a lot of people being in a central place. Make friends, you know, at the end of the day, it's what brings a lot of fun. So definitely encourage you guys to make friends, not only for you guys, but also for your dogs. Going on top of the fact that the apartment complex gives the opportunity for a lot of people to be in one central place. Jackson here loves people, he loves attention. And so just going through the hallways, going down outside to go bathroom, you tend to basically see someone, or at least someone, majority of the time. And again, Jackson loves the pets, loves the attention, and again, that is something you really want to actually take note of. If you are a little bit shy or introverted, maybe not bringing a dog into an apartment complex might not be the best, because again, at least for me, everyone here is like, oh my God, I love your dog, he's so cute, and they always are inclined to pet him, and I'm loving that. But again, if you like to be shy, that is something that you really want to think about and also be wary of into your schedule, because you're going to be taking out your dog to go outside unless you use mats or pads inside your apartment complex. So another thing too, because my apartment here does not have a backyard or even a balcony for me to put pads on, I have to take out Jackson every single time going outside, take the elevator or go down a flight of stairs to really just go pee or poo. And that is just something that you're gonna have to do. It's not as easy as opening the door and letting them out into a backyard. You really have to bring them up and down the stairs, the flight of stairs, the stories, whatever it may be. That is something to be wary of if you want to own a dog in an apartment complex. For Jackson, I mean, at least he right now is a little bit over a year, so he can hold his business, I shall say, for up to like 8 hours or so. But again, if you're starting out with a puppy, that is definitely something to be wary of, because at least for me and Jackson, when Jackson was 8 weeks, 12 weeks old, first couple months, I took him out every hour or so. If you're welcoming a a dog into your life and you live in an apartment complex, then you have to brace yourself, not only mentally, but again, I guess your legs, your physical body, because you're gonna be going up and down outside from your room just to take out and make sure that training is consistent, at least potty training is consistent with your dog. Is that right, Jackson? You have any tips, man? On top of that, because I have to go down a flight of stairs or even use the elevator, I kind of take advantage of being outside with Jackson. So even past him going pee or poo, I take a quick little 5-minute walk, whether it is in the morning or at night or in the middle of the day, or whenever he actually has to go bathroom or whenever he has to pee or poo. I actually take him on a quick little walk, take advantage of being out there. And that is not only beneficial for him physically and mentally, but also for you guys, for the owners. It's nice to take a break from whatever you're doing. If you're working remotely or just like chilling in your apartment, it's nice to take a walk outside and be, I guess, quote unquote, one with nature. So another thing that you might be thinking of is how will your dog, or how does Jackson do well when you're away from him in an apartment complex? And if you guys haven't seen that video, I kind of made a video of his separation anxiety, especially moving into a new apartment at first. But now, since it's been a few months now, Jackson has gotten used to me being away and has been comfortable in this space, this new apartment. And so again, what I usually do is I just take out some treats, and as I'm leaving, I put it down on the ground. I go out quickly out the door, don't make a big deal, lock the door, and I'm on my way. Before, Jackson would bark and scream and whine and do all these things when I leave, but now he's gotten comfortable in this space, in his new home. And yeah, for Jackson, it's worked out pretty well. But again, you ought to be consistent and try not to make a big deal when leaving your puppy slash dog in an apartment. I did not crate train Jackson, so he gets this whole apartment to himself. It's a nice little space. There is an apartment tour on the channel from a few months ago if you guys want to check out the space. But for Jackson, hi, good boy. If you want to check out the space, but again, Jackson gets the whole apartment to himself. He can roam around. He usually just basically sleeps when I leave. But again, I did not crate train Jackson, and yeah, he gets the whole space to himself. Do you like that? Yay, good boy. So one downside to living in an apartment complex, and I guess you can say this is for humans too, are the fire alarms. So there have been 3 or 4 times already since living here the past few months where the fire alarm would go off and it would just be blaring so loud in the hallways in this room, in this apartment. And I mean, they were very loud for me, and I know dogs have sensitive ears, so I can't imagine how bad it was for Jackson. So that is something you have to be wary of too, that it could happen that, you know, your dogs can be frightened from fire alarms as a result, maybe get some PTSD from it. I don't think I think Jackson has a little bit, but again, that's just something, I mean, that is just something you have to think of. And if your apartment complex, you maybe look at the reviews if there's fire alarms every so often. Maybe don't live there, so again, something to be wary of. If you're thinking about getting a dog in an apartment, please make sure to check these next few things that I'm about to say and be wary of them. Keep a little mental note, because again, these are kind of important in making sure that you guys' lifestyles, not only for you, but also for your future dog, is healthy and great, because at the end of the day, you want to give your dog the happiest life. So let's just get straight into these few quick points. Number 1, check if your apartment even allows dogs. Make sure that, again, that they are pet friendly. And on top of that, usually most apartments, if they do allow dogs, cats, whatever it may be, there's an extra fee on that. So check your finances, check your budget, and usually, again, it might be 100, it can even be 200. Check how much the fee is, and you know, make sure you gotta really account for that, because again, dogs are and can be expensive, and that extra fee, even though I think it's kind of unnecessary, but I see both sides. That's something you really want to make sure and be wary of. Number 2, so Jackson here, I get a lot of questions He is 36 pounds, and I would probably say like a medium-sized dog, a little bit smaller on the medium end, but I think he is the perfect size for this apartment. I got this layout because I'm able to play fetch with them, and that's one of the reasons why. And so going into that, and this brings me to my next point, where you really want to make sure and check your dog's energy levels. And on top of that, how big they will get. Will they become a big dog? Will they be a smaller dog? And again, maybe a huge Dane, a Great Dane might not do well in my apartment. And on top of that, maybe a huge Australian Shepherd might not do the best in my apartment either, because again, an Australian Shepherd, they need to exercise like 24/7, and at least for me, you know, I have to work, I have other responsibilities besides caring for a dog. So I wouldn't be able to commit that time to really exercising and playing with an Australian Shepherd. But Jackson here has the perfect level. He's really accommodated and adapted to this apartment life. Yes, I still find some times where he gets the zoomies and he has a little bit too much energy, but again, for the most part, like I said before, I really try to explore different ways to exercise him, not only mentally, but also physically. Circling back, whatever dog you may get, make sure it makes sense for the lifestyle of an apartment complex. And the third and last point, I kind of touched upon this a little bit before earlier in the video, but if you are welcoming a new puppy to an apartment complex, puppies obviously are not potty trained, at least most of them are when you welcome them into your life. And so when you do have to potty train, if you don't have a balcony or if you don't have a backyard, then you're gonna have to go up and down a flight of stairs or carry them from your apartment to the elevator all the way back down to where there is a grass area. And if you're like me, where you brought out your puppy every hour just to be consistent and make sure that they really nail that potty training quickly and efficiently as possible, you want to be wary of that and make a mental note. And again, you want to be up for that. You want to commit to that. So you have to ask yourself, are you going to use pads? Are you going to use mats on your balcony or inside? Or are you going to be willing and able to bring up and down your puppy back and forth when he or she has to go bathroom, even at nighttime, early in the morning? Again, it's a huge responsibility welcoming a new puppy into your life. So you just want to make sure that you really think about all the ins and outs of that. And especially in an apartment complex, that is something you really have to think about, because again, for me at least, being in a house, raising Jackson, it was a lot waking up really early and also staying up really late. And on top of that, every hour bring them in and out. If that was a lot just for a house, I can't imagine in an apartment complex. So again, something to think about when welcoming a puppy into your life in an apartment. But yeah, I'm gonna conclude the video here. Please let me know down below if you are experienced in apartment living with a dog. If you have any tips or tricks / advice for anyone that is welcoming a dog, a furry friend into their life, and or moving into an apartment with their dog, please leave a comment down below. As a reminder, please hit that like button, as it really helps in the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new here, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button too, as it really means a lot to Jackson, who's on the floor right down there, and me too. Also, important reminder, I am creating a Aussiedoodle lovers / owners Facebook group. The link is in the description. It's gonna be a nice little community. I'm gonna create it, so if you have any questions or any tips or advice or any stories, or if you just love Aussiedoodles in general, please join the Facebook group. I'm gonna really grow that up, and again, have it be a place where anyone or any potential owners for Aussiedoodles or anyone that just loves Aussiedoodles, again, likes to share and have fun and share their stories of their Aussiedoodles. Click the link in the description, join it. I'm gonna approve basically everyone that sees this video, and then upload a picture of your Aussiedoodle if you have one. I'd love to see them there. Let's start the discussion, let's talk about it, and really help each other out there. Tell your dogs you love them. Jackson, I love you. Thank you for watching and have an amazing day. Jackson! Oh, all right, Jackson, do you have anything to say to the people that are watching here? Anything? All right, just looking out the window.